Today we're headed to the surf in pursuit of some giant fluke. I'm going to talk about everything I did, used, and noticed, and we're going to learn a ton. My name's Nick, and you're coming fishing with me. Let's go. Alright, it's early, 5:24, and we're going to the beach. We're going to use some Gulp. I'll give you a couple tips once we get there, and I have a feeling we're going to pull in some big ones today. I looked at the forecast, everything looked like it was falling in place, but yeah, we got about an hour's drive and can't waste any time, so let's go. Alright, so I'm going to start off by explaining all my gear and my technique, just so that you understand how I catch all these fish. So I'm going to start the day by throwing a 1/4 ounce jig head tipped with a Gulp jerk shad, which is super popular where I live. You could also use a dropper loop rig or a bucktail and teaser rig. I have a video talking about how to tie the dropper loop rig. Now when I go to the surf, I often notice people using super heavy rods, and that's not really going to help when you're trying to use light jigging techniques like I'm using in this video. So you're really going to want to get yourself a medium fast or extra fast action rod in the 7 to 8 foot range. Fast action basically means that the tip of the rod is going to bend, and only the tip. Most of the rod's going to be a stiff backbone, and this is really going to help you pick up subtle bites, and it's also going to help you pop a jig real nice and easily without putting much effort into it. If you've ever jigged with like a noodle rod, that's what I kind of like to call it. A noodle rod basically means that the rod starts to bend way down the rod closer towards the reel. So if you're using a jig and you pop it, the entire rod's just going to bend, and it's going to take a lot of effort to get that jig to pop right off the bottom. And you're also doing a big hook set when you jig, so having something with a lot of backbone really helps get a solid hook set. So now for the jigging technique, you're basically letting the jig sink, and then once it's near the bottom, you're just going to pop it. Right after you pop it, you're just going to want to reel in all the slack in your line, and this is going to help the jig fall more at an angle instead of straight down. And falling on an angle is going to help it stay in the strike zone of the fluke for longer. There's a fish. Finally. Not a bad one. Not gonna keep though. Oh my God. 16.5. So here I actually switched to the 5-inch grub, but you're basically using the same technique no matter what Gulp variation you use. But this fish right here was super pissed, dude. I had sand in my mouth, my nose, even my eyes, and I was actually kind of pissed off at him. If he was a keeper, I would have shown him a once-in-a-lifetime lesson. Now guys, what happened here is possibly the greatest thing I've seen while shore fluking. I met these two dudes, Jose and Pete, and they were both using jerk baits to catch fluke, which is brand new to me. I really don't know how it works, but I decided to join them because it seemed like they knew what they were doing. And my goodness, Pete would pull out the biggest fluke I've ever seen from shore. It was crazy, and I just got word that he broke his own record today. So I'm gonna leave his channel below. You need to go watch that video. It's not the highest quality because we had trouble transferring the files and all that, but it captures the moment, and here's a little sneak peek of it.
Yeah. Get out the wash. Get out the wash, bro.
Dude.
It's a slab.
So obviously the jerkbait works, but I'm not really going to talk about it a lot here because I kind of don't understand it super well, and I need to work on it. So expect more of that later in the summer. But we caught a lot of fish, and the coolest thing I saw today was this right here. Yeah, there's a fluke falling right here. No. He looked, he turned away. No. Hold on, we'll get him back. So fluke will actually come up off the bottom. Because the jerkbait suspends in the middle of the water column, the fluke will see that and come right up to it, which allows for moments like this, which is just super cool. I'm glad I got this on camera. So yeah, expect more of the jerkbait stuff later in the season. But now here's where things get serious. So Pete and Jose left, which means it was just me and the surf. I was on this beach for about 8 hours now, and the conditions changed a ton since the morning. So the tide started rushing in, the south wind picked up to about like 15 to 20 miles an hour, and the current was ripping from the south. So everything was going south to north, which is actually okay because you never want wind against current. That's just going to cause a ton of problems. So I'd rather have it like this than have a bit of wind and a bit of current, but they're clashing together. And a lot of people would think that these conditions are not ideal for fluking because it's hard to fish in wind, and I'll I'll admit it is hard to fish, but I've dealt with these conditions in the past, and wow, do they produce a lot of fish. So I've kind of figured out a little system here for fishing conditions like this. So obviously the wind is going to have a big effect on your line. It's going to cause a huge arc, which takes away any sensitivity you have in your line, which basically doesn't allow you to pick up bites as good as you would without wind. And it's also going to affect the way your jig behaves when you pop it. So what I kind of do is cast up through the wind and up current, and then I'll immediately put my rod tip down towards the water. Then I'll reel in any slack, let the jig fall down to the bottom, pop it at an angle, not straight up vertically, because that'll cause more of an arc in your line. So pop it at an angle across your shoulder, and then immediately put that rod tip back down again to prevent any arcing and to maintain some sort of sensitivity in your line. And basically what your lure is going to be doing is it's going to pop up off the bottom, and it's just going to kind of float down in that current. So the current actually kind of helps you cover more water and stay in that strike zone, and it would definitely pay off here. There's a fish. Please be a good one, come on. Yep, that's our keeper right there. Holy sh**. Yeah, dude. Let's go, baby. Oh, dude, that's a 20 right there. 1920 right there. Oh. Hook just came right out. Love to see that. Ah. Oh, yeah. 20 and a half, baby. Let's go. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, dude, it's been 8 hours. Oh, dude, that is awesome. Yeah, so if you're a fisherman, you probably know exactly what this feels like. You've been grinding all day, you're sunburned, you're tired, you're everything, you're hungry, and this fish just makes up for all of that. I had a gut feeling that something good would happen today. I even called it at 5:30 in the morning, and I have a feeling we're gonna pull in some big ones today. I just knew it was gonna happen. I don't know what it was. I think I was due for this, and I was out there for about 10 hours total. So sometimes you just gotta stick it out, put in the time, stay there for a couple of tide cycles, and just see what happens. And then you could start putting patterns together once you stay out long enough. And I know not everyone has time like this. I'm just some 19-year-old kid who has a ton of time this summer, so that's why I'm out here trying to figure it out while I can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I caught a couple of shorts, but I'm just glad we learned a lot today and I was able to share that. Hopefully this helps you next time you go out fluking, or if you're just trying to get into it. And if you want more direct access to me and help finding spots wherever you live, you could live across the world and I'll still be able to help you find spots. You can actually join my fishing club. It'll be linked down below. We also do monthly tournaments for gift cards. We're actually doing a June mini tournament right now, and the next tournament starts July 1st. So join now so you don't miss out on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you learned a lot. Now go catch some dang fish. See ya.